Good afternoon, everyone. I am Mark Andres Callius, a student of EdUp 101. So, I'm here to talk about the education in ancient Egypt. Education in ancient Egypt was shaped by its conservative social system. While education was valued, it was largely restricted to the children of those with means. When we say children with means, only those who whose parents who are high ranking in the uh, hierarchy of their system. So speculation of the education system in ancient Egypt started at 3000 BC, although its history of it remains unclear. Uh, it remains unclear because before the writings is not very much clear or understandable because the translation is mostly not that good, especially in the education. So before we move on to the different parts of the education in the ancient Egypt, let us have the uh, facts about the education in the ancient Egypt. So first is ancient Egypt's education syllabus included reading, writing, morality, mathematics, sports, and religious instruction. So pretty straightforward explanation. The Egyptians used hieroglyphs, whatever you prefer, or symbols in their written language. Their language was primarily comprised of consonants and had few vowels. So, if you remember, sa una, there are symbols which represent the vowels, the letters of the English alphabet. Pero ang mga gigamit lang sa Egypt is more on symbols like the bird or the like wavy lines or the Nile. So, mo na yung mga gigamit sa Egypt. So, formal education for young boys began when they turned 7 years old. So, explanation will come after this. Makasabot ra mo unsay pasabot ana. Most boys were apprenticed to their father's trade after completing their formal education. So just like sa karon nga schools, naay apprenticeship or on-job trainings. So before they graduate, okay? So next is scribes provided secular instruction on reading, writing, medicine, and mathematics. So priests taught lessons on religion and morality. So in the education during the ancient Egypt, there are two teachers, the scribes and the priest. So as you can see here, there are two. They have different roles when it comes to teaching different subjects. So the scribes are more on the reading, writing, and mathematics, whereas the priest focuses on the religion and the morality. So surviving images show children seated at their desk in a classroom while a teacher is seated at a larger desk. So if you search on the Google online or any search engine platform on a browser, uh, you may see different images of if you are familiar sa Egypt, na siya yung mga paintings nga represent sa ilang history. Ang usa adto is karang naay murag desk nga gagmay na pwede desk nga dako para sa scribe or sa priest. Sa ato tawag karon is the teachers. Okay? So most women in ancient Egypt were not allowed to receive a formal education but were homeschooled. So na explanation ana. So lower class women could rarely read or write. Dili siya ingon nga rarely but nagod sila education but dili siya ingon proper and formal kay wala man ang kasagaran sa babae is dili sila paskwelahon. Depende lang sa na siya certain circumstances. Next is the access to education. So first thing is only boys went to school. So sa una, boys pwede ra. Next is girls were home educated by their mothers. Children from the lower classes rarely receive any education due to the costs. So schools were mostly are from a royal and wealthy background. So education is most likely accessible to two words, to the rich and for boys only. So karang duha kuan dyan na kay sa una ang hierarchy or the when you say the karang putay the pharaohs ang ilang anak mopili man dyan na sila og anak nga lalaki kaysa babae. Kay sa una sa Egypt, they will choose a pharaoh, uh, uh, or successor sa pharaoh, mo nang anak nila. Wala man gyud nahitabo nga ang pharaoh is babae. That's why if napinabasahan lang ana nga og babae gani ang anak sa pharaoh, labi na og karang karang eldest, di na dawaton or either patyo nila. Kay mangita dyan na sila og laki para musunod sa ila trono. Okay? So in the education, na ay except circumstances more rare lang siya nga na ay girl nga pwede makasud og garang formal education. Magdepende ra po na og kara nga babae is naa sa higher status sa hierarchy. So, below sa pharaoh, mga high priest, generals dahil sa army, or etc. Next. Next is ancient Egypt's education system. So, mothers were responsible for their children until 4. So, from birth until 4 years old, so homeschool dyan na sa mama. Uh, mga moral ethics, etc. So next is the father will take the responsibility of training the boys after 4. So after 4 years old, ang mga laki nga bata mo na nay mubawanon sa ilang papa. Whereas sa babae, nara dyan sa balay, doing house chores, mga all kinds of work around the house. Sila po'y pabantayon sa ilang business if na. When young boys turned 7, they began their formal education. So from 4 to 7, murag ang boy is murag male children mo na mo murag magpakiramdam sa world around them. So in the turn 7, mo na sugod sa ilang pag-eskwela. So students read educational text called Kemti, so which means completion. These were written vertically rather than in the left to right. If makapakita mo sa mga hieroglyphs or mga ancient texts sa Egypt, ang mostly nila is from up to bottom. Dili siya left to right. Di po siya right to left. Okay, right to left, it is Japanese nga writing. Okay. Next is learning to write. So Kemti, so which means completion, was not designed in the horizontal way. So the order Kemti is from up to bottom, not left to right, not right to left. Okay? Okay, so Kemti, manay mo nga horizontal, vertically up to bottom or bottom to up. I don't know ug unsa nga way. Up and down. So depende lang og mo. So good up to down, down to up. Next is the what did they learn? So from the boys, they learned from their family trade. So unsay trabahoon sa papa maoy inherit sa mga bata sa lalaki nga anak. So girls learn the household responsibilities, including cooking, sewing, and in some cases, even taking care of the family business. Usually, ang father o ang anak nga laki, mag-uban na sila as well as the mother and ang anak nga babae. The father and the son, uh, murag, di na sila kayo naas sa balay. More on mag-travel na sila para sa ilang uh, trades or mga different works. Trades ilang tawag sa una, but pero murag ang term na is works. Okay? So next is ancient Egypt's teachers. So ancient Egypt's teachers fell into two categories: priests and scribe. So if nakabasa mo sa kadong pag-facts, so scribes are most likely the teachers we see today. Kadang mutudlo og mga reading, writing, mathematics, mga sciences, and etc. Whereas the priests are the religious teachers or the nuns, the priests, etc. Who is mainly uh, teaching religion and morality. So one type of education was known as the instruction of wisdom. So, so in the instruction of wisdom, its syllabus considered of lessons on morality and ethics. So, ang karing instruction of wisdom is more likely specialized ni siya. So, ang mga boys pwede sila mo choose to be a scribe or to be a priest, especially naman po yung mga specialized na teachers that are dedicated to teaching a specialized stream of education. So, uh, example for this are medicine for doctors, mathematics for construction work, and etc. So next is the ancient Egypt's education curriculum. The focus for younger students was usually confined to reading, writing, and basic mathematics. So, ug imong nabantayan, uh, murag ang karing 3 hours is more likely kitudlo ni siya sa karon sa nursery or sa kinder. So, reading, writing, mathematics. So, as the range of topics expanded, will expand as the students progress through the system. So, tiguang sila, nadyo sila yung mga lain subjects ma-added. So, mura na siya sa ato nga mo grade 1, grade 2, dahil lahi na subjects ang mahatag kada estudyante. So, higher education includes mathematics, history, geography, medicine, ethics, science, morality, and music. So, that is the subjects on the ancient Egypt curriculum. Next is the youth apprenticeships. So, at age 14, the children of lower and middle class parents finish their formal education. So, as young as age 14, so more or less, mo na siya sa ato is high school student pa na. Sa ila dito, ikuman nila 14, mo na ilang pagsugod o trabaho o more sila mag-OJT sila under silang father, sila papa. So, typical occupations operating an apprentice system included farming, carpentry, stonemasonry, leather and fabric dyeing, metal and leather working, and jewelers. So, manay sa laki. So, craftsmen expects their son to become apprentices to their trade. So, inheritance ni siya nga murag pagkahitabo. So, upward mobility in ancient Egypt was rare. When we say upward mobility, karabang pobre ka nga anak or pobre ka nga anak sa usa ka tatay, murag dili kayo rare siya nga mahimo kag high ranking. Nago siya matabo, dili lang jud ingon kayo. Kay more or less, mo-inherit ra ng anak sa trabaho sa iyang papa. Okay? That was for the boys. So in the girls, so young girls remained in their households with their mothers. They were taught how to run a household, cooking, baking, child rearing, and basic medical skills include the use of oils and herbs. So wa pa man jay mga machine-made na mga tambal, rely lang jud sila og mga pure herbs and oils to feel better. Girls of higher social status were instructed on entertaining high-status visitors and overseeing household servants and slaves. So, uh, sa girls, ilang career choices is rather narrow in ancient Egypt. So, kasagaran o gusto siya glain nga career ang babae, they were mostly limited to training as a baker, weaver, entertainer, or dancer. So, namdyan it says, namdyan when ang girls is born from a high class, dool siya sa pharaoh or somewhere in between anak. So, girls of high birth sometimes receive additional education. So, it depends on their father's place in society. So, uh, class is everything. Kung sa kakataas sa ladder sa ilang hierarchy, mas dako imong benefits. So, a high born girl could be expected to assist with running the funeral business while the father was away. So noble-born women, so noble, mo man ay mga royalty, close to the pharaoh dyan na siya. Occasionally receive additional formal education to enable them to read, write, and cipher. Next is religious education. Religious education was taught with other subjects in ancient Egypt, and ancient Egyptians were polytheists. So when we say polytheist, poly meaning many, theists meaning God or God. So ni consider it is many gods because in ancient Egypt they not only worship one God, but they worship many. That's why they are called polytheists. Children were taught to honor and respect the gods from a young age, and disrespect or disobedience resulted in harsh punishments. So, sa ato palandaan, common knowledge na nadaan nga o usupa ka Ginoo na dyan na yung mga consequences. Isag karon, moabot na lang karon na agyapon. Next is the Princess School. The Princess School educated the sons of the king. So, di ba, kasagaran ang anak anak sa king is most likely Lionel is lucky for inheritance to the throne, and the nobility or high officials. No girls were allowed to attend it. So, mo dyan na, dili jud kayo uh, kusog ang babae sa na when it comes to education. They were limited to household chores and the likes. So younger students received training in writing and maths. Older students received training in reading, writing, mathematics, and history. So, the same lang siya, nagdagdag lang mga pilak subjects. O, next. So that was the end of my report. If you have questions, you may message me or comment in when I will post this on the Google Classroom. So thank you and God bless you all.